Kick-ass facts. Yeah, we're still talking about people who faked their own death. I'm fascinated. Pew, 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 pew! In 1989, Benny Wint faked drowning to avoid a jail sentence. While on vacation in Florida with his fiancée and his daughter, he went for a swim and never came back. Wint's body was never found. William Street was pulled over during a routine traffic stop 20 years later, but police couldn't find any record of William Street, so they brought him in for questioning. It was Benny Wint. When he drowned, he simply swam down the beach, got to shore, and walked away. It's as easy as that, apparently. He hitchhiked to Alabama and made a new life for himself with a new name, new wife, and new son. I told you I'm not Googling pronunciation keys for these names. It's going to be what it's going to be. In 2009, William Groth staged his own murder. That's a new one. And even claimed to be the murderer. One day, for no apparent reason, he abandoned his car in a Nashville park, left his belongings littered around town, and ran away. Later, he disguised his voice and called the police, claiming to be his own killer. The police weren't fooled. They're not the cops for nothing. They found him hiding in a motel in Montana a few weeks later, and no one knows why he faked his own death. This one's a doozy. In 2004, Clay Daniels and his wife Molly dug up the body of an elderly woman from a cemetery, dressed the body in Daniels' tennis shoes and baseball cap, put the body in his car, and pushed it off a cliff. When the car didn't catch fire like it was supposed to, not everything's a Michael Bay movie, Clay, Daniels climbed down the cliff and started a fire in the passenger seat. They thought they'd gotten away with it, but investigators were suspicious from the very beginning and soon pieced the puzzle together. You had an entire cemetery from which to choose a body, and you chose the body of an 81-year-old woman instead of the body of a young man who had met. I mean, CSI was already out. You should have known better, honestly. A few weeks after Clay's death, his wife introduced her son to her new boyfriend, Jake Gregg. It was Daniels with his hair dyed black. Why did he do it? The staged death came days before he was to report to jail for failing to report to his probation officer. Why was he on probation? For the sexual assault of a young girl. Why did his wife go along with it? Fear that her children, aged 4 and 1, would not be allowed to contact their father under the terms of his sentence. It was about keeping her family together, she testified. There were a few dead body in the car, Weekend at Bernie's situations in my research. A lot of people murdered homeless people to get away with it, but they didn't. In 2000, Harry Gordon faked a boat crash to escape involvement with the Russian mafia. He staged the boat so it appeared that he fell overboard and then floated to shore in a rubber raft. He traveled to 5 countries in 5 years, married another woman, went on a honeymoon. It was on his honeymoon that he ran into his brother, who recognized him and turned him in. Gordon went to jail for 15 months, where he wrote a best-selling book about his experience and is now remarried to his second wife. Lenin Carbolito was elected mayor of a Mexican village in 2013. Why is that newsworthy? Because he died of diabetes complications in 2010. When his election news spread, police began investigating and determined he'd faked his death to escape rape accusations dating back to 2004.